Alrighty, budget fam. This intro is going to be a little bit longer than most, but this is part 20 in our seed harvest series. You're going to be seeing two new plants in this episode. They're going to be the stars of season 2. Those are going to be a mimosa cross with Hawaiian diamonds that I gave to my friend, but he was kind enough to give me back a cut of it. That's super awesome of him. It is roughly, I think at this point, I'm gonna guess 20 days old, and it's not happy. We're gonna have to do some stuff to fix it. And there's another seed we're showing off. It's going to be the mystery seed from Speedrun Genetics. They're a company I really suggest, highly recommend them. Their yields are insane, and they're autoflowers. You can get some of the best autoflowers from them, like absolutely killer autos. So we've talked about the Mimosa, Hawaiian Diamonds, and the Speedrun Seeds Mystery Bean. Those are going to be shown in the video today. And that's going to be moving to season 2, transitioning after we chop the rest. Other than that, super excited to mention we got memberships done finally. This is going long. My intro is going to be long today. We got memberships done. We got 3 tiers. Tier 1, you get to see videos early. Tier 2, you get a shout out at the end of every video. I'll call you out by name and say you supported the video. And tier 3, you get access to my Discord and my email for personal contact. I will help you set up a grow tent. I'll help you with grow advice, anything you need. That's the memberships. In the future, I'll be creating a Patreon where you can get the seeds directly. I'm going to just allow you to pick whatever strain you want, and you'll just pay the monthly fee, and I'll give you a pack of seeds. That's the plan. Alright, let's get into the video. Alrighty. So it looks like the plant I got from my friend is starving to death right now. There's like 8 billion deficiencies, and the roots are all bound and sad. The plant on the right is the Speedrun seeds. It's a mystery bean from Speedrun. We just noticed some minor leaf clawing. Do you see that top of the leaf right there on the left? I pointed out. This little clawing. It's a sign that there's too much nitrogen for the plant. There's a few ways to remedy this. I can either A, increase light intensity, therefore increasing metabolism, making them burn off more of the nutrients. Or I can do what I did yesterday, which was do a minor flush, which leads to like a little puddle of yellow water that's full of nitrogen. So I can either pull it out and kind of waste it onto the ground, or I can increase light. If I were to increase light, the temperatures in this tent would be a little bit too high for me. Right now it's 77, 78. I'd prefer it to stay in the lower 70s rather than the upper 70s. Given that the outside weather has been pretty warm here. So it's the start of spring heading into summer. We will begin getting temperatures that are too high to run both lights. You guys have gotten big. You guys are no longer nearly even close to the same height as other plants. Biggity biggity bop. They just don't stop. Yeah, so this is a photo tent. Both these tents are really basic. That's a $130 light. The Vivo Sun is a $80 tent. This entire kit is less than $300. Here's some of the results you can expect if you do everything, at least according to what I do in the video. Yep, pretty nice. I would say the harvest and the yield for these will probably be double the autos, and the autos probably harvested around 3 ounces each. So this is anywhere from 6 to 8 ounces per plant probably. For my experience at least, that's what I would assume. I'm going to go check the soil real quick and see the weight of the pot, so I will lift it up. I take this full can of Coke, which the plant is holding up. They're pretty strong. Pretty strong plants. take this off, and then I can get a clear weight of the pot. Okay, she's slightly light, but she's not completely light. Get this can back on. For people who were skipping episodes, the reason why I put the can onto the plant, the little Coke can, it's filled with water and it acts as a weight. What happens is this weight will strengthen the stems, making it so that stems can support the larger buds later in flower. So if I were not to have trained these with those clothes hangers that you see everywhere, these branches would be much weaker and they won't be able to support the buds themselves. The whole reason why I use weight training, so this is a type of weight training and a type of stress training. I use Coke cans and clothes hangers, all types of things to weigh her down as she's growing in veg, which strengthens the stems prior to flower. One of the biggest issues with floppy buds I see is if you veg all the way to like day 50, day 60, you vegged a bunch, and you have all these new little bud sites, all these new tops that you haven't trained. They'll grow up into a nug the same size as these, but the stem will be much smaller, so it won't be able to support itself. When you do weight training, clothes hanger training, using Coke cans, bottles, water, gallon jugs, whatever you got to use, it greatly impacts the strength of the stem. And there are studies that suggest stress, like LST and other things, also increases trichome production. So. For my backyard. Here's a plant my friend gave me. We're gonna have to transplant her into this little 3-gallon pot. This is the after of the leaf tucking. I take the leaves, I bend them down a little bit like this, and it opens up all these bud sites from the lower branches, and it makes it way happier. I'm going to continue to do this because she's got nitrogen toxicity a little bit, just the minor amounts of telling me I have too much nitrogen. I'm really dark colored and not as happy as I could be, so. Knowing that I'm on the brink, I'm not even feeding her anything. It's just the amount of worm castings probably was a little bit high, but not a big deal. She's a little bit yellow, but luckily we transplanted her. The gift plant is now transplanted into something more fitting for the environment. I've also changed the humidity and got everything in here more accustomed to higher percentage of humidity, so she's happier and not drooping, but she's still yellow because she's not intaking enough nutrients. But already, she'll be amazing looking in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, but you guys have to stick around to see that. Alrighty, so I'm back. All I did was I punctured the top of a water bottle, and I filled this with water and a little bit of CalMag. I did about 1 milliliter. This is half a liter of water. I did 1 milliliter, roughly. So if you puncture a really small hole and the hole's small enough, you get kind of like a misting spray, and you can just mist the top of these. So the biggest reason why we do this is, first, you're introducing humidity for the plant. Second, we're avoiding the root system completely. We're circumventing the root system. Because if there's any problems with the roots and the ability to uptake nutrients, like a pH problem, a lack of nutrient problem, unbuffered cocoa, whatever, if your roots cannot get the nutrients, you can still feed them nutrients through the leaves. So each of these leaves have these like stomata, which allow them to let water vapor in and out, but it can also uptake nutrients. When it rains, rain actually contains nitrogen. So if you were to go collect rainwater, the rainwater would test, some percentage of nitrogen, probably like less than 1%, but some amount of nitrogen. Because as the water droplets fall through the sky, there's a bunch of nitrogen in the atmosphere. I think it's like 70% or 78%, somewhere around there. Somewhere in the 70s. I don't know the exact number. It changes. It probably fluctuates due to like global warming things. Anyways, it fluctuates, but it's in the 70s. A lot of the atmosphere is mainly nitrogen. When lightning strikes, it infuses all the nitrogen into the water droplets, and passively you get some through the water droplets. So I'm just going to kind of coat these leaves with this water bottle. I'm going to do a quick little video on the speedrun mystery bean. I'm able to create this many tops without topping the plant by using highlight intensity. So this light, it might not be very close, but since it's a very strong light, the readings I'm getting are, this is close to 600 ppfd at the top. I'll probably show you the little ppfd thing on the side as I do the I could probably use a second phone to show you. Actually, hold up. 1 second. Alrighty. So I was going to show you the photon app that I use. This is how it looks on my phone. If you press and hold it, it'll maintain the same ppfd rating even if it's changing. So what you can do is you can measure it even if you can't see it at that point. If you find a spot to measure it, once you get the number. Alrighty, we got plant on the left, which was my friend's gift to me. Moving it into a new tent has been an issue for her, to say the least. I think the light intensity here is higher, and she's not really liking the higher temps and lower humidity. She was extremely yellow the other day. I think the transplant is helping, but I need to probably give her another foliar feed of CalMag. I'll probably do something with the soil. I put these clothes hangers on her yesterday to kind of lean her out, which worked. I'm seeing some darker green on some of these tops, so it's a good sign. I'm going to use the long end this time, and I'm going to group them into 2 groups. One on the left and one on the right, which creates almost like 2 rows. You're eventually going to have to be on that side, probably. Maybe best if you got in here and you got in here. Alrighty. 2 cute rows. We'll let them rebound from that, and then we'll start working on the side rows. We'll have 2 more clothes hangers for the other sides. That's the speedrun seeds. This is a mystery bean, which is exciting. Mystery bean speedrun seeds. She's getting some slight nitrogen toxicity. I should probably just soak her again over water, let the water run out, and probably seep into the other plant. Now, that light's a little low. Boop. I'm going to show you some leaf tucking action real quick. Find any spots where lowers would be. I'm going to leaf tuck deep enough so that they're exposed. Expose some little bud sites there. Same on this guy right here. Tuck him in onto that side. Bring these guys out. Bring that little guy out. Yep. That's all the leaf tucking I really had to do today. Not too much. But by doing this, I'm creating a bevy of top sites. So lots of independent branches that are all going to be equally as strong as the main top. We're able to do this by raising the PPFD of the light to roughly 550, 600. Anything in that range at this stage should cause the top to not want to keep going upward. It will kind of almost stunt it, and it will cause the sides to reach up. Do a quick little scan. Look for any signs of flowering. Shouldn't be. It's only day 20 something. She's looking pretty good. No signs of pre-flower pistils yet, which is ideal. Which means we got some more veg to go. She'll probably be the biggest auto we grew. One, because it's warmer temperatures out now. And two, we're using a fabric pot and my own soil mix. Before, we were using the budgetest soil we could find at like Lowe's or this local shop called Ollie's. We found some budget soil there. But this is a homemade mix with everything I normally put in it. Castings, perlite, and pure cocoa. We'll get you a video of the other tent later. Yep. She's becoming a monster, both of them. Those nugs are getting really thick and frosty now. Heading towards the end of flower. I think we got maybe 2 to 3 weeks left. I gave both these watering. Since they were so hungry, I fed a little mix of, this was humic acid and a little bit of CalMag. So what that would do is it provides a little bit of calcium, a little magnesium, all the micronutrients like iron, zinc, molybdenum, boron, and also the humic acid comes with some potash, which will have potassium in it. It'll be like a 204. What's important is these guys are almost ready to harvest. Temps in there are 85 and humidity is 57. Temps are slightly high for what I would like, but it's not too big of a deal. I'm seeing some slight discoloration on the lower leaves. We want that. It's a signal that the plant is eating itself and all of the nutrients in the soil. I prefer to end the run with soil that's as inert as possible, meaning devoid of nutrients, if possible. Sometimes not possible. But if and when it is possible, we try to reduce the amount of nutrients we use so we're not wasting anything. And if we're going to recycle the soil, it's better to start at 0 than it is to start a mystery number. Does anybody want to see some close-ups of the bud? All right, let's get some close-ups, and then we'll get out of here. Good morning, Starshine. Bilbo says hello. 69% humidity. That's a bit high, but that's what she needs to turn green. That's what she needs to turn green. So the CalMag foliar spray is starting to work. She's slightly less yellow, and the top sites are actually in the correct place now. They're creating 2 rows. They're covered really beautifully, curved right back up. I'll probably weigh down this hook with something. I usually use a Coke can. Let me go grab one, and then we'll hoist her down. This is the Speedrun Seeds Mystery Bean. She's grown quite a bit for being 20-something days. I would list the exact number on the screen. I might have lost track, who knows. We still have minor signs of nitrogen toxicity. I flushed her 1.5 times. I flushed her like almost twice. But it's not a big deal when all your bud sites are all growing wildly nicely. I'm going to do some leaf tuck. I'm going to show you. So you grab a leaf. That's a big fan leaf. There's nothing under her. You bring her kind of downward. Now you can see all the things that were under her. She was hiding a whole entire bud site right there. We can do the same with this one if we'd like. Kind of push her down like that. And it exposes another leaf. Gonna push that one down. It's a big fan leaf. If we push that one down, we'll probably expose something, etc., etc. And that way, you can take this, pull it down, since it's a fan leaf, and most likely under it will be bud sites that you were hiding. Ta-da! So, we pretty much rinse and repeat that type of bending. You could kind of bend these out, bend those out if you wanted to like increase your canopy size, like so. Kind of think about it as surface area. Once you have higher surface area, you get more light penetration and more light and more photosynthesis. Yeah. Keeping the light intensity, well, the height of the light really close. This is pretty close. I would say that's like 30-something inches, maybe 30-ish, 24 to 30. Keeping it closer with higher intensity allows me to get these bud sites that are all on the outside to grow upward without the top overgrowing. I've not topped this plant. This is an untopped plant. So all this lateral growth you're seeing that is trying to catch up to the main top, it's mostly because of the high intensity lights, but also partly because of genetics. You can achieve this with almost any plant. I've showed you that you can do this with the other plants, the first 4 plants we grew. I hit them with around 400 to 500 ppfd, which limited their upward growth, meaning all the side branches grew relatively the same height. I'm going to do something similar to this, where all the branches will be the same height at the end. Let's take you over there. Alright, what do we have here? How's it going, fam? Alright, budget buds. We're looking at the end of flower. This is around the time you'd have to judge how far you want to push your plants and what you want out of it yield-wise, what you want out of it smoke-wise. As a general rule of thumb, the further you push your plant, the more they see this, the higher the ratio of THC to CBN. So the further you push your plant as they age, THCA converts into CBN. And CBN is responsible for more of the sleepy effects rather than the energizing or the psychoactive. Alrighty, budget fan. So This is usually the point in the plant's life where you decide how far you want to push her based on some factors like how much food she's consuming, how hungry she is, how developed the buds are, what type of smoke you're aiming for. As the plants age, the THCA becomes CBN, and CBN is more responsible for the sedative effects, while THCA is more responsible for the psychoactive effects. So if you're leaning for a heady, energetic high, you generally want to harvest sooner. If you're looking for something that's going to couch lock you, stone you out, help you sleep, you generally want to harvest later. So, but that's just a rule of thumb, because obviously there's plants that are going to always lean towards the sleepy effects, other plants that will always lean towards energetic effects. But you can kind of push it slightly towards one or the other direction by changing your harvest time. I'm looking at these leaves and I'm seeing signs of hunger, specifically potassium. These leaves are telling me they need potassium, which is very normal. You would see for flowering plants during flowering phase, you want a 2-to-1 ratio, almost double the potassium to your nitrogen. So if you have 200 parts per million nitrogen, you want 400 parts per million potassium. Yeah. In general, this plant is very hungry. It's also the bigger plant of the two when it comes to like number of nuggets. It definitely has more nuggets than the plant on the right. The right has like large, long nuggets that are extended out, but like just based on sheer quantity, I'm not sure if you see it, but there's a bunch down everywhere. I'm going to have to probably give her a mini feed again. Last time I gave some humic acid type mix. This is just some humic acid with some water. We'll see when harvest day is. If you guys want zoomies, I'll give you some zoomies real quick and we'll call it a day. So this is the GMO. She didn't turn out as nice as I wanted her to, but it really isn't as bad as it could have been. There's a lot of junk leaves on her, and not the biggest nugs. Pretty basic sized nuggies. But she's still harvest, and she's still pretty dank. So I'm gonna have to break this down, and then I'm gonna put her into a bag to let her sweat a little bit. The inside of the nug is still slightly moist, while the outside of these are starting to get crunchy, so we're gonna sweat them. It's kind of like cooking a steak. The outside is now cooked, but we're gonna rest her so that she can have equal cooking throughout the nug. All right. I'll be right back.